Hey guys, welcome back to Seeking Tiki, and in this episode we are leaving Long Island, New York, headed towards Cape Cod. Right now, we are leaving Jersey City and our whole bridge and tunnel debacle, and we are going into Connecticut. And although we did not stay in Connecticut this time, we had to stop for
Louis' Lunch.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, Louis' Lunch is the home of the hamburger in the United States, or so they say.
Yeah, they say it may be the very first hamburger, and it is not your typical burger, as you will see.
As you can see, it's basically just meat, cheese sauce, tomato, onion, and toast, because they didn't have hamburger buns back then.
In a super old-timey building, too. It's right on the Yale campus, so we felt very swanky.
So now we are going into Rhode Island, which we did not stay in Rhode Island either on this trip.
We didn't, and for all of y'all from Rhode Island, it looked beautiful. We cannot wait to spend some time there. We just simply were on a schedule. We will be back.
Here we are in Cape Cod, which I have never been to, and you've never been there either.
No, we were so excited to check it out. We've heard about it our whole lives, and frankly, the architecture did not disappoint.
And as you can see, probably, it was very rainy that weekend.
It was pouring, you guys, and it was 4th of July weekend. So we were a little surprised, I guess, that it was so rainy, but we were so grateful for the cooler temperatures that
Yes.
I personally didn't mind the rain. But it was an interesting and a slightly tricky weekend with the extreme downpours.
So we stayed at another Thousand Trails resort. It was the old Chatham RV resort. And I hate to say it, but we have not had the best experiences with Thousand Trails this far.
No, we haven't. I'm sure there's some great ones out there. We have found them to be lacking amenities, lacking atmosphere, and kind of depressing. I won't lie.
Very high prices.
And the price is very high. We don't have the Thousand Trails membership.
No.
We're really hoping that maybe we've just not had the best experience, but the rest are awesome. We've only stayed at a few, but thus far, guys.
So right now we are just driving around Cape Cod, going from Chatham, which is closer inland, and we are making our way all the way to the very tip of Cape Cod.
To Provincetown, which is a super cool historical town. All of Cape Cod is beautiful and historical. I mean, if you look into it, a lot of the very first settlers arrived there. If you look into the first Thanksgiving, which was really close to there in Massachusetts and Plymouth, there's a lot of wild turkeys that run around Cape Cod, so you can see why turkey is a big thing. It's just a very beautiful, very historical place. It was much more woodsy than we anticipated. when I think of Cape Cod, my whole life I kind of just thought of like an island. I'm from Oregon. I felt like I was in Oregon 80% of the time we were driving around Cape Cod. It's very thick woods. You don't see a lot of water, which I found was interesting as someone who had no idea what to expect.
It also did not look like the beaches in LA. It looks nothing like Malibu.
Right, which is totally unfair for us to expect that. Cape Cod is really beautiful in its own special, unique way. We were just a little surprised at what we saw. And also it was very cloudy and rainy when we were there. It was still stunningly beautiful, but you know how expectations are. They're a little weird and you never quite know what you're gonna encounter. We were just a little surprised.
And here in Provincetown, we unfortunately could not drive on the beach like we could in South Padre, Texas. But we walked around a little and it looks beautiful. And next time we might actually try and get the permits where we can camp and drive on the beach.
Yeah, that would be super cool. This particular trip, it was pouring so hard. By walked around a little, we mean we stepped outside our vehicle and then stepped back inside. It was very wet.
And right here, it looks a little confusing, but I think for the first time on our trip, I'm actually trying to fire up the furnace because it actually got pretty cold at night.
It's the first time we learned how warm can the Airstream get. The furnace, for the record, works really well.
Happy 4th of July, everyone! I know it's a little late, but happy 4th of July!
It was 4th of July weekend, and we were a little concerned because we had no reservations. We did not know what to do or where to go. And Dan was simply like, hey, there's this cool hotel nearby. Maybe we could see if they have a nice restaurant. We really lucked out, you guys. What a cool spot.
And we actually got a little reprieve from the rain and saw a beautiful sunset and had a great meal.
We did. We had a really great meal. There were a lot of people there, a lot of just great families celebrating 4th of July. And the coolest part, too, was when it got a little dark, it had a fabulous view of all the fireworks. We could see the fireworks all the way to Provincetown, which was probably 30, 40 minutes away from there. It was just stunning. So for kind of not knowing what to do or where to go on the island, we got a great meal, had some drinks, really enjoyed the fireworks.
Yeah, and as you can see right here, they have a huge lawn out front where they had a ton of lawn games, some barbecue, a bunch of snacks, and it was really cool. So now we are going on a boat ride to Nantucket.
Nantucket! We're so excited. It's obviously one of those must-see places around Cape Cod. If you go in the area, you have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, besides Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket is the other island where people go on the ferry to.
They do. So we heard Nantucket was the place to go if you don't have a vehicle with you. That's a little easier to get around if you don't have a car to drive around, which we definitely found to be true.
Yeah, so we actually took the high-speed ferry, which, as you can see right here, it is high speed.
It was so windy. It was so windy. I was honestly worried I was gonna blow off to death. I totally recommend it. It was super fun. If you go on the high-speed ferry with your kids, which still I think took an hour to get to Nantucket. Otherwise, I think it's an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's a bit of a ride. It's worth it to do high speed, but hold on to your kids if you take that. It was so windy.
So the other great thing about the ferry is you can see a ton of sights too from the ferry, like these beautiful lighthouses and all the beautiful beaches along the coast.
You could. It is a really beautiful way to explore that area if you have never been, and just to see some of the historical sites. We definitely recommend, if you can do it, to take a boat ride around there.
So when we were on Nantucket, we walked around and just took in some of the sights. It's actually a very small island, so you can pretty much walk anywhere.
You can, and it's beautiful, historical. It's got incredible architecture if that's what you're interested in. It's got a lot of fun boutiques and shopping, really delicious restaurants where, of course, we got lobster rolls because,
yes,
hello, it's Nantucket. You have to get a lobster roll.
And we got some fudge for the first time on this trip.
Fudge! I'm very obsessed with fudge.
All right, so we've had some fudge, we've had some lobster rolls, but we are not done yet. We are working our way up north to Bar Harbor, Maine, where, of course, we will have more lobster rolls and fudge.
We will. We'll have a lot of that, but more importantly, we will see all the sights, and we captured it all to share with you guys.
Yes, so we will see you guys on the road.
On the road.
Yes, it's actually on toast. So we are So the other great thing about the ferry, so when we were in